Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 22 of the March Daily Draw. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Knight of Swords. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems to be a lot of swords. It seems to be swords and wands, doesn't it? This month, swords and wands, which plus mages, of course. Maybe a couple of cups thrown in, but I can't remember a pentacle or whatever. But it seems to be very much wands and cups for the month of March, which is not surprising because things are beginning to take off. Things are when we start getting creative, when the energy is coming back, springtime energy, action, which is very much the Knight of Swords. This is about where we start to take actions, we start to put plans into motion, we start to, we've been thinking about things perhaps over the winter, and now, we're getting into the spring season, and now it's time to start doing things, and we've got some ideas about what we might want to do. We've been setting our intentions, we've been taking hold of opportunities, we've been developing ideas, and now we're ready to start doing things with them. And this is very much what the Knight of Swords is about. And, I love how the fact that he's in the winged horse, the Pegasus, here, and he's coming through the clouds, above the clouds, and into the clear sky. So it's like we're coming out now into some clarity. Maybe we've been a bit unsure about some things. Maybe things have been a little bit clouded, a bit blurred, not very clear for us. But now we're moving out of that and we're moving into more clarity. And now we feel as if we've got enough clarity that we can begin to start acting upon our ideas and plans and our desires and what we want to create. So we're coming out of that period of obscurity, of sort of like partial sight or vision of what we want to do. Now we're coming into more clear thing. We're coming into the clear skies. We've risen above the confusion and the uncertainty, and we're a bit more sure now about what we want to do. So, and I love the fact that he's putting his sword forward, but it's also upwards. So it's onwards and upwards. It's about this moving forward, but not just moving forward at the same level. We're going up a level. We're moving forward and moving on and upwards. It's onwards and upwards. So we've had this moving forward sort of phrase through the march, and this translates more into onward, as in moving forward, but also upwards. So we're expanding, we're growing, we're moving up. We're not going to stay at the same level. This is about growth. This is about development, both of ideas and also through the actions that we take, making them a reality. And in a sense, the reality that they create helps us to grow and move up from where we've been. So the Knight of Swords is very much, now is the time to start acting upon your ideas, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do or thinking about. Start to do them now. Start to do these things. See where it takes you. sometimes we question what we think. We think, well, is this a good idea or not? Will this work? Will it not? And sometimes the only way to find out is by actually giving it a go and seeing what happens, by taking the action that we need. Try it, do it, and see where it takes us. Have that sense of courage, confidence, and sense of adventure that we that will take us to through the unknown, and it'll become clear in time. We will soon see clearly where those ideas are going to develop and how far they're going to develop. Once we start acting upon them, so once we start, putting, they're not just concepts in our minds, they're things where we're aiming to do, and we're taking steps towards it. And we'll see how these things begin to shape up in reality, if at all, as to whether they're worth really pursuing. So now's the time for action. Now's the time for doing what we've been waiting to do. We've been wanting to do. We've been mulling over. Now is the time to stop that sort of mulling it over phase and to do it. We may not have everything perfectly sorted yet, but we don't need to. We know enough. We've got enough sorted to begin. And as we begin, things may become clearer, and other things may fall into place that won't fall into place and won't become clearer unless we do start to begin to act upon it. It's only in the doing that we begin to fully understand what it is. So there's no point in waiting. Sometimes we can say, well, I'll wait until we've got everything perfectly lined up, ready. I mean, yes, there's a degree of preparedness. There's sense in that. There's diligence in that. But there comes a point where we can never have it too perfectly. We cannot have it perfect before we start. We could have enough prepared and for us to be able to move forward, but we don't know how things are going to develop. We may need to change our thinking anyway along the way. We need to adapt to changing circumstances. So if we overdo the preparation, half of that preparation may not become relevant. It may cease to be relevant because of changing circumstances, and we have to do a rethink anyway. So sometimes we can overthink things, and sometimes we put things off by saying, well, when I get this in order, when I've worked out how to do this. Sometimes we just have to stop. We just need to know we know enough, and we've got enough to do the beginning stage and see where that takes us. And things will become clearer. Maybe as we begin to act, other things may occur to us that we hadn't thought of before, but it was only in the action of doing it that we suddenly become aware of something else that we need to bring into the process. So that's why it's important to know when to prepare, but also when to, be prepared to begin. You got to begin. There comes a point when to begin, and you don't necessarily have to have everything neatly in line before you can start. You could have, the important things, but you don't need to have every single detail because they may change anyway as we move forward, as I said. So what this card is saying to us is don't stop overthinking this and just get on with it and do it and give it a go and see how it goes, where it takes you. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Shortbread. Now then. She sat there looking through the window, pondering, thinking. But maybe we need to get out there and do it rather than just sit there and daydreaming it or thinking in our minds. Go out to where things are happening, where the birds are flying, etc. The sweetness of your craft asks you to indulge in the celebration of you. So the sweetness of your craft, the sweetness of what you're trying to do. Indulge in the celebration of you. So, like the shortbread is the sweets, and you're indulging in that, and you're having the sweetness. Indulge yourself a little by acting upon what it is you've been wanting to do. Don't just sit there like she is. Yes, she's taking that sweet shortbread there, and she's enjoying it. But there comes a point where you need to translate that into getting out there. And the real way to celebrate you is to express yourself through action, through doing and expressing the ideas that you've been thinking about. That is a type of celebration of you, by doing what you want to do, what you've been thinking, what you've been planning. So start, begin to act. And that is the message of the cards today. So that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 23. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.